The biggest tournament of 2025 was absolutely insane. So, let's talk about it. Hey, by the way, if you want to see more Melee on your Shorts feed, you should totally subscribe to me. Anyway, the top 8 for this bracket only had 4 top 10 members, with the average ranking sitting closer to 9 or 10. The only top 5 seeds to make it here, Cody and Moki, got upset way earlier in this tournament, so they ended up having to fight each other in the losers bracket for 7th. On the other side of the elimination bracket was Axe, the Pikachu player who hadn't made a top 8 at a Genesis since he almost won one at Genesis 6 over 5 years ago. And he was facing off against Salt, the second best Captain Falcon in the world on an extremely good run. Meanwhile, on the winner's side, we had Mango, who appeared to have an amazing path with a Peach and potentially a Falcon ahead of him to make it into Grand Finals, but he was remarkably upset by Trif, who was on the run of his life. This led to a winner's finals of Trif vs Wizrobe, where once again, Trif made the upset and qualified into Grand Finals for his first ever major tournament. Back down in the losers bracket though, Salt would be eliminated by Hungrybox, and we then had the 103rd tournament encounter between him and Mango. The two remaining gods fought hard, but Hungrybox prevailed, next having to fight Wizrobe for a spot in Grand Finals. And just for the fact that Wizzy had already beaten HBox that day, this was likely the most difficult matchup for Hungrybox yet, as he had only beaten Wizrobe in one tournament set last year at a tournament he didn't even win. And his only win before that was in 2022, the year where HBox also last won a major tournament. HBox was in a serious drought from a major win, going on almost 3 years since his last victory at Riptide 2022. He came really close at events like Collision and Super Smash Con, but just got locked out by players who seemed to have had his number. In similar fashion though, Hungrybox was finally able to get a win over Wizrobe and make it back into Grand Finals. And this time, he had a really good matchup ahead of him. Trif, the Spanish Peach on the best run of his career, had never beaten Hungrybox ever. In addition, this was a matchup that honestly is pretty bad for Peach. Harkening all the way back to the days of Armada, where he had elected to train non-Peach secondaries just to try to beat HBox. Even the first ever Genesis tournament featured a Puff Peach Grand Finals, which was a really cool full circle moment. But regardless though, after an intense 5 games, Hungrybox was able to reset the bracket, and in one of the most emotional pop-offs in esports, he finally broke the curse.
And again, he
cannot contain it. He cannot contain his emotions. He knows
it's coming.
And that's it! And that's when HBox wins! It's been 2.5 years since the last time that HBox has won a Super Major, since Riptide 2022. What an emotional pop-off we have here from HBox.
Let the tears flow, my friend, because
That's right.
you have sufficiently earned this one. Hungrybox, your Genesis X2 champion. Trif, of course, has etched himself down in history as one of the great, one of the best Peaches in the world to do it, but Hungrybox was called a god for a reason.